In this video, we're going to be looking at questions with regards to odds, typical types of questions you might see on a test or assignment. And we're going to be looking at specifically determining the odds for and against an event. This question here is a multiple choice question about multiple choice. And in this question, we're assuming that all the multiple choice options are equally likely. What are the odds of correctly guessing the answer to a multiple choice question when there are 4 options? So if there are 4 options, the total number of options we have is 4. And with any multiple choice, there's going to be 1 right. So 1 right answer and 3 wrong answers. If we were looking at probabilities, we would say that the probability of guessing correctly would be the 1 correct answer, the 1 successful outcome, to the total outcome, so 1 out of 4. But when we're looking at odds, odds is the total number of wanted or successful outcomes to the number of unsuccessful outcomes. So, in other words, if we want to find out what the odds of correctly guessing the answer to a multiple choice question at random, then it would be 1 correct to the 3 that are incorrect. And if you recall from our lesson on odds, the number of correct and incorrect options, or sorry, well, the number of successful and unsuccessful options, I should say, would add together to the total possibilities. So there's 1 correct answer to 3 incorrect answers. So that means that the answer to this multiple choice question would be C, 1 to 3. And of course, odds are written as a ratio as opposed to being written as a fraction like you would see for a probability. In 2, first we're going to look at probability. So we want to state the probability of the spinner landing on each color, and we're going to write our answers as a %. Well, first off, we're going to look at how many ways can I get blue on this spinner. There's blue right here, blue right here, blue right here, and blue right here. So there are 4 different ways you can get a blue on that spinner. How many different ways can we get green in total? Well, I've got green right here, I've got green right here, and I've got green right here. So green, there are 3 possibilities. How about for red? With red, I have 1 option here, and I have another option here, and that's all of them. So I have 2 ways to spin a red. And lastly, how many ways can I spin a yellow? Well, yellow, there's only 1 possibility, and it's that one there. So there's 1 way to spin a yellow. So the total possibilities on this spinner is we add all those numbers up, 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. That'll give us 10 possibilities in total. So the number of ways we can get the probability of blue, there is 4 blue out of a total of 10 possibilities. So 4 divided by 10. We want to write it as a percentage. So we take that number and multiply it by 100. And it's our units percent. 4 divided by 10 times 100 will give us 40% chance of spinning and getting blue. For green, there are 3 possibilities out of a total of 10. We multiply that by 100%, and that gives us a total of 30% probability. Now we're still looking at probabilities. 30% probability that we're going to roll or spin and get green. For red, there are 2 red wedges out of the 10. We're going to take that number, 2 divided by 10, multiply it by 100. It's in units percent, and that gives us 20% probability that we'd roll a red or spin a red. And lastly, we have yellow. There's one yellow out of the 10 possibilities. We multiply that by 100 units percent, which means that we have a 10% possibility of getting yellow. And so if you add up 40 plus 30 plus 20 plus 10%, you're going to see once again that we have 100% of the options calculated here. So that's, again, probability, the total number of successful outcomes divided by the total outcomes in general. Well, we're going to look at odds now. We're going to look at what are the odds of the spinner landing on blue or yellow. If you recall, there are, same spinner of course, there are 4 blue and 1 yellow. So in other words, the odds of the spinner landing on blue or yellow, there are 5 successful outcomes, blue or yellow, and there were 10 in total. That means that there are 5 unsuccessful outcomes, because there are 3 ways to spin green and 2 ways to spin red. So there are 5 spins on that spinner that are not going to be blue or yellow. We can reduce this, of course. 5 and 5 can both be divided by 5. So this is actually a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, so 5 to 5 and 1 to 1 are identical ratios. What are the odds of the spinner landing on green or blue? Well, once again, there's 4 possibilities for blue, and there are 3 possibilities for green. Which means that in total, we have 7 ways that we can get either blue or green, which leaves out of the 10 only 3 ways to roll or spin something other than green or blue. That's the 2 red and the 1 yellow options. So the odds of the spinner landing on green or blue would be 7 to 3. So to summarize this once again, odds are the ratio of wanted outcomes to the unwanted outcomes. And the total number of outcomes overall is equal to the sum of the wanted outcomes and the unwanted outcomes put together. So once again, to remind you, when we look back at the last example, there were 5 ways to roll blue or yellow, and there are 5 ways to roll red or green. So in total, we add those numbers together, we get 10 total outcomes. And once again, in C, there were 7 ways to roll a blue or a green, but only 3 ways to roll something else. We add them together, we get a total of 10 outcomes.